have an update when it comes to a confusing conundrum that has recently taken place of a young couple that was denied boarding on the world's largest cruise ship, Wonder of the Seas. Now, to be fully transparent with all of you, I have another TikTok video from the mom that is telling this very interesting and confusing tale. However, it does appear that this is going to bring about more questions than it does answers. However, it is still an update nonetheless. Just to give you guys a little context and backstory, essentially we have the son and his girlfriend that were supposed to be sailing out of Port Canaveral on board Wonder of the Seas. Upon arrival to the terminal, they were denied boarding, and when they called their travel agent, the travel agent called Royal Caribbean. However, for whatever reason, allegedly, they've gotten no answer. They were not allowed to get on board the ship. Royal Caribbean took their bags. They got 3 out of their 4 bags back, but the one with all the money and whatnot was left on board the ship. The friends that they were sailing with were able to get on board, and upon checking the cabin that the son was originally supposed to stay in with his girlfriend, they found out some other people were there, assuming it was overbooking. And well, now we're at this situation here where everybody just wants answers. So I'll let you watch the TikTok, and then of course we'll go over the little giblets and details after.
I know a lot of you are waiting for an update, and we are still working on getting to the bottom of the actual issue of why they weren't allowed to get on the ship. But I will tell you, from what I know, I do not believe it was the travel agent's issue. So they said travel agency or travel agent, and they actually booked through cruises.com. So the payment itself was pulled from their bank account by Royal Caribbean, not by a travel agent, nothing like that. It was pulled from their account by Royal Caribbean. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. I don't think it was an issue with the travel agent not paying for the cruise or not completing the payment or anything like that. So don't worry about using travel agents. I'm sure there are a lot of really good ones out there. I've spoken to a couple of them already, but I don't believe that that's the issue. I think I might know what the issue is, and I just don't want to say anything about it yet because I don't know. It could be something else. But I will tell you this. So the kids did talk to, I say kids, they're grown. Sorry, that's what I do. But they did talk to their agent that they deal with at cruises.com, and they went back to Royal, and they came back to them and said there was an issue with a chargeback for a drink pass on their account. Now, the girlfriend uses American Express Gold. It's set up to go through like fraud prevention and stuff like that. So for big purchases, the American Express Gold is set up to require verification on purchases. And so she brought her card and her ID. They have to show both to confirm that it's her. So that is what cruises.com said that Royal told her. We're waiting for more information on it. No, there wasn't anything in their suitcase. No, they weren't trying to smuggle anything on. No, there aren't any live warrants or active warrants or whatever you guys said that would prevent them from getting on, which from what I've read, warrants only apply at the end of the cruise and they get picked up. I don't know. I will have more information this week. I wish I could have given you guys more right now, but please don't bash the travel agents. And this is not a bashing against Royal Caribbean either. This simply the way that the matter was handled at the port, and then the fact they did not get their luggage returned to them before they were locked out of the terminal. That is the problem. That it was not dealt with well. That's my opinion. Sorry. That's the whole point. Now, the fact that they packed cash in their suitcase, sorry. The medication, sorry. Like, other people have reported that they put medication on. Actually, there was another lady who was not allowed to get on the ship either because she didn't have her passport. And her husband got on the ship. They tried to bring the lady's luggage back to her, and she said, "No, please take it back to the room because it has my husband's medication in it and he will die." So they are not the only people that put medication in their bag. Anyway, so I will have more information. My son and his girlfriend will be here this week, and we will make another call together. I did ask my son to do a little bit of legwork before he gets here so that we can maybe have this resolved before Wednesday. So we'll see, but I'm sorry. That's all I have. But I don't think it was the travel agent's issue.
So when it comes to the main issue here, it does appear that there are three primary components. We have the credit card company, Royal Caribbean, and the travel agent or the agency, that of course being cruises.com. Before we continue, I do want to make this very clear for all of you when it comes to travel agents. I do believe that they are not some fossils, some dinosaurs that have no usage and provide no real value. Travel agents can be good, especially for people that are inexperienced when booking vacations and going into details. There are a lot of travel agencies that are extremely reputable and knowledgeable. It can get you the exact experience that you need. However, the caveat to that is that you should be very selective when picking a travel agent. Don't just go to some fly-by-night website that you happen to Google and they just happen to be offering the same cruise that was $2,000 for $500. As the old saying goes, if something appears to be too good to be true, then it probably is. Also, like I said, just don't go to some random travel agency. If you go to a travel agent, maybe you should find somebody that referred you to said travel agency or travel agent. Maybe they are extremely reputable. Go to somebody that you trust and believe in, not just some random company, because, well, you could get screwed over to a point to where, should you have a situation at a port or while on board a cruise or any vacation experience, well, you're just kind of stuck with that problem to fend for yourself. To be clear, I'm not saying this is what happened in this particular situation. I'm just giving you guys a little nugget of information that you may find useful or valuable. But when it comes to the topic at hand, a term that was brought up when it came to the credit card is chargeback. Now, to be completely transparent with all of you, I'm still fairly new to the credit card game. I want to say prior to maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I've been fixing the mistakes of my early 20s. I had one credit card prior to that with USAA, and now I'm starting to get into Chase and of course MX, and well, things have been going pretty well. But when you hear chargeback, it's not that the card was let's say a charge was denied, and they're talking about, for example, like a drink package. I think that's the topic for discussion, that was either paid for or left in the cart. And this is something that has been very controversial and caused a lot of issues for a lot of people, not only with Royal Caribbean but Carnival and other lines. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but just so you guys have some clarification as well, whenever you go online and you book your cruise and your cruise is confirmed, you can start tacking on the add-ons. There have been horror stories of people that were looking at items, they put them into the cart, and then once everything was confirmed and settled, the actual drink package was not paid for completely. But when we're talking about a chargeback, it means that things were gone through, and then I guess somebody maybe could have filed a dispute, and that way the process was brought back, meaning the money was brought back into the account, and now you have this situation. But nevertheless, there is a reasonable idea to consider that either one of those scenarios in which something was left in a cart or something was paid for, then had a dispute filed and then brought back, could be a cause for concern for Royal Caribbean, in which they could say that maybe there is a potential for theft or there is an issue they don't want to deal with, so they could cancel the entire reservation altogether. I'm not saying it's right, but it definitely does and has happened in history's past. The mother is saying that when it comes to her son's American Express Gold Card, there is like a verification process in which they have to contact them to get final approval and whatnot. I have one of my credit cards that do this, but whenever I make a purchase, I'm asked to approve of it immediately. So when you're talking about, once again, chargebacks and this whole thing, it is definitely some muddy waters. I can't wait to hear another update. Apparently she's saying she's going to bring her son in and clarify all the situation, because like I said, and as you guys can hear, it is extremely confusing. The one thing that is a real head scratcher for me is that if Royal Caribbean did indeed cancel the reservation, if that's the situation, and they had time to book a whole nother set of passengers and put them in the room that originally the son and his girlfriend were supposed to stay in, doesn't that mean that maybe somebody somewhere in the pipeline was notified? Like, I don't know, the travel agent. The mom is saying the travel agent had nothing to do with this. They did nothing wrong. I'm not accusing the travel agent of anything, but I would just assume that if the travel agent is the one that was responsible for booking everything and all this seemed to go down the way that it did, wouldn't Royal Caribbean, if they were being responsible as well, contact somebody and let them know that the reservation had been canceled prior to this couple getting over to the cruise port over in Port Canaveral, Florida? Also, another point in question that a lot of you have been asking when it comes to this whole situation as a whole, when it comes to this couple, because as the mom describes, it is a young couple. She said kids, but that's what she calls all the kids. But a lot of people are asking, how old were these two kids? Because technically, at least when cruises are sailing out of the United States, if you are under the age of 21, you cannot book the cruise alone. You have to be accompanied with an adult that is at least 21 and up. And if you're talking about a couple, let's say you have a couple where both of them are under the age of 21, or one is under the age of 21, you got the guy that is 21 and the girl that is 19 or something like that. Obviously, there's going to be some cause for concern with Royal Caribbean, as they do need an adult guardian to not only approve, but I believe in other cases they have to come on board and have adjoining cabins and all that. It's very muddy waters, but thankfully, from what I can see, this is not the situation at all. Also, to address the bag situation, there are a lot of people that are saying that you should never put personal items inside of a check-in bag. I would agree. If you have a cruise and you have stuff that you need, let's say like life-saving drugs like medicine and prescriptions, do not put them in your check-in bag on embarkation day and just walk into the terminal. This woman, the mom, she described a story of a husband and wife that the wife didn't have her passport, but she left it in her check-in bag, and the husband did, and he ended up getting on board, and they brought the bag back after she was denied boarding, and she told them not to bring it off in case they left it because the husband has life-saving medicine inside of the bag. Guys, don't do that. Money, passport, important documents, keep them on your person. That sounds so weird to say, but you know what I mean. Keep them on you. Keep them in a bag, a handbag, or maybe your carry-on, because the last thing you want to do, should that bag happen to go missing, it's happened to me before, it's happened to many others that cruise regularly. It could be somewhere on the ship. However, it may not get to you in a timely manner, and in the event that it gets lost or misplaced, well, you don't want to have to deal with a situation, a potential life-threatening situation, all because you decided to leave your life-saving medicine inside of your check-in bag. I don't think there's much more that I can say here. It does sound like Royal Caribbean seems to be out of the crosshairs. It's not their issue. The woman did say that she didn't say anything bad against Royal Caribbean. Well, technically at the beginning of the video, she did say a little something about Royal Caribbean's customer service, if I remember correctly.
Royal Caribbean is one of those cruise lines who is supposed to have top-notch customer service. Not this week. They failed 4 young passengers terribly.
Anyway, do keep in mind that I am not personally a travel agent. I don't really have much of an interest. Maybe down the road when I'm slowing down with the travel adventures, who knows, I'll start a travel agency or nothing. It's something that I thought about down the pipeline. But anyway, guys, of course, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. I do realize there are a lot more people that may be travel agents and are more knowledgeable when it comes to situations like this that can probably lend a more valuable response than I could. So, of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Just know, as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll look out for the update, but I do have more videos coming up as well today, so just be on the lookout. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you later. Take it easy.